The San Francisco Bay Area is in serious trouble in 2023. Everything from shoplifting to homelessness to COVID aftereffects has contributed to record closures of retail shops. In San Mateo, local residents are witnessing spikes in shoplifting greater than they've seen for more than a decade. In the wealthiest city of America, entire malls, blocks, and districts are closed as shop owners are cutting their losses and packing it in. So today we'll be taking a deep dive into the desperate state of retail shops in this collapsed city. The situation of retail is in dire conditions. Nationwide, store chains are closing left, right, and center. More than 2,000 shops have closed across the United States in 2023. The total includes more than 20 Walmarts and Best Buy stores each, close to 50 Banana Republics, 150 Walgreens, 480 plus Tuesday mornings, and up to about 550 Foot Locker locations. Now, a lot of these big brands already close and reopen new sites every year. However, in 2023, there is a slightly worrying pattern developing with these closures as many of the retailers are admitting serious financial struggle. It's not just a remodeling plan. Brands such as Rite Aid and Bed Bath & Beyond are closing hundreds of shops and filing for bankruptcy. For many other brands and local shops, it was a systematic shutdown of stores in particular areas of problem all across the country. One of the biggest of such problem areas is San Francisco and the wider Bay Area. 2023 has turned the wealthiest city in America into a graveyard for shops and businesses, with just about every other store downtown either temporarily closed or outright abandoned. The folks who still operate out of the area do so not only at a risk but also under special conditions. So what on earth is going on and why? Well, to simply put, San Francisco is turning into a ghost town. In the last year alone, dozens to hundreds of shops have closed and more continues to shut down even as we speak. The Westfield Megamall located in the city completely closed down earlier this year, and whilst the Embarcadero Plaza remains open in technicality, more than 90% of the stores within it are gone. Outside of malls, standalone shops are suffering too. The once busy Union Square in the city only have a couple of stores still open, and the same can probably be said of Market Street. Everything from Walgreens to AT&T to Banana Republic are shutting down. Even local wineries, bakeries, barbershops, coffee shops, and everything in between are closing up and moving on out of San Francisco's downtown. But why is that? The number one reason is crime. Retail theft is a billion-dollar problem nationwide and a much bigger problem in San Francisco and the state of California at large. This retail theft comes in the form of robbery, burglaries, and most prominently shoplifting. There are organized shoplifting rings all across the country, and they're apparently a multi-billion-dollar industry. Last year, shop owners lost $30 billion worth of goods due to retail theft. In California, it's a prevalent issue in all of the major cities and counties, but especially in the Bay Area. San Mateo, with 3.5 incidents per 1,000 residents, ranks as the county with the highest spike in shoplifting rates in 2022, with San Francisco following in second at 3.3 incidents per the same. The San Francisco numbers are 20% higher than they were prior to the pandemic in 2019, and these spikes have only worsened in 2023. Retail shop owners in San Francisco are marking down record losses and closing down their businesses. The ones who aren't are either taking drastic measures to remain open or are trying to weather through the storm of financial losses. A Walgreens in the Richmond district decided to start locking up their freezers with heavy chains in order to prevent people from taking and walking out of the building with products. They claim to be hit by shoplifters at least 20 times a day. Just across the street, a cigarettes cheaper shop was targeted by burglars, and the shop owner claimed he lost as much as $100,000 as he cried out for change. Of the 9 Target stores that are slated to close all across the U.S., 3 of them are located in the Bay Area, with the most important one found on Folsom and up 13th in San Francisco. Target exclusively mentioned retail theft organizations as the reason for its closure in the Bay Area, stating that several attempts to stop or slow down shoplifting had ended up in failure. And it's an issue that stretches beyond San Francisco. Down in San Jose is a similar picture. Entire blocks of stores are closed and the buildings are vandalized with graffiti. Across the bay from San Francisco, in Oakland and Berkeley, the same is the case. Telegraph Avenue is riddled with shoplifters and blocks of shops are closed down. In Oakland, burglaries rose by 42% as another Target shut down. The mayor claims to be doing everything in order to provide safe working conditions for the big brands located in the city. In El Sobrante, a store clerk at a local mini-mart was burnt in the face and neck by a repeat shoplifter after he tried stopping the perpetrator from leaving with goods in September 2023. A truly sad state of affairs, and yet the situation there isn't nearly as bad as in San Mateo. Shoplifting numbers in San Mateo surged in 2022 to over 50% higher than the pre-pandemic level in 2019. In June of this year, a Lego store was robbed of $35,000 worth of merchandise, and a Sephora store in the same mall was robbed off $3,500 worth of perfume. It truly is dire times for shop owners in the Bay Area. Usually when there's a high property theft rate, then there's probably a high homelessness rate to boot. And the issue needs no introduction. California is widely referred to as the homeless capital of America, and San Francisco's struggle with homelessness is well known. The city has been embroiled for many years in a battle to get the homeless people off the streets in an effort to make the city cleaner and safer for everyone. As at 2022, San Francisco had 887 homeless individuals per 100,000 residents in the city, which is comfortably above the national average of 578 per 100,000 residents. In 2023, new data collated by San Francisco's Healthy Streets Operations Center revealed that the city had at least 2,300 homeless people living on the streets and encampments. It's especially frustrating considering the repeated efforts by city officials to sweep all those encampments off the streets and into shelter. But not only do the homeless people return to the streets mere days after being incorporated into the shelters, they also then deface public property, litter the streets with refuse, introduce drugs into the neighborhood, steal electricity, and start dangerous bonfires. And under these conditions, it becomes very easy for these individuals to be drafted into underground retail shoplifting rings and drive local shops into bankruptcy. The city is currently in a legal battle with homeless advocates over the alleged wrongful clearing of encampments. The city by law is obligated to provide shelter for the homeless, and thus were considered to have broken the law when they allegedly cleared the streets without having enough shelter to house all of them, and thus a temporary ban was applied on city's encampment clearing project. However, the mayor recently announced that the court will allow the city to resume enforcing laws on individuals who voluntarily choose to live on public property. The hope behind the city's street cleaning project is to hopefully curb the drug abuse and crime rate in the city, which will inversely help safeguard the interest of local shops. And we also would like to read your personal thought in the comments section about this issue plaguing San Francisco. So what else can the government do about all this? Well, a lot of people argue that better policies need to be implemented. Shop owners and workers often cannot stop shoplifters from escaping their stores with stolen goods, or even demand an arrest for apprehended perpetrators because of laws and policies that prevents them from doing so. In San Francisco and California at large, Proposition 47 ensures that individuals who steal items worth $950 or less have to be classified as misdemeanors, and as such are guaranteed not to receive any serious jail time on their first offense. Some citizens see Prop 47 as a bill that pretty much legalizes shoplifting, and although that may be extreme, many still agree that such a policy needs to be walked back in order to return to normalcy. In San Mateo County Superior, David Canepa has said that he is open to any and all solutions to countering the rising shoplifting crisis in the county. He's even floated about the idea of a specialized task force to combat the problem, just as Los Angeles implemented in their own city. All in all, the economic lifeblood of San Francisco and the wider Bay Area is in serious danger should the increased crime rate and shoplifting persist at its current level. The city and the state need to step up harder and faster in order to slow the trend and disband this ongoing crisis in their neighborhood.